Good morning, afternoon, and good night. My name is Mr. Sunchips. Thank you again for joining me on another episode of Out of the Bag. Today I'm joined by none other than the love of my life, my girlfriend, my wife, the partner in life. I remembered that because I was making it up earlier in a test run. I'm joined by none other than Megan.
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. I got a few subjects for us today. It's kind of funny having you on the podcast because it's like we've been talking for so long. So it's like, what are we going to talk about?
It's weird to talk to you and have to talk to you.
Oh,
like
we're getting in it already.
It's true, though.
Have to talk to me? Oh, you have no choice at the moment.
I could put Oscar up here.
He's sleeping. We shouldn't bother him. All right. So the first subject is Megan went on a trip, and it was like a half an hour away. I'm just kidding. She went
half a day.
Yeah, half a day. She went to Ireland, which I don't remember if it was south or north.
We circled the whole country.
Oh, you went through the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. But that was just a couple weeks ago.
That was a week ago. As of yesterday, I got back.
But you started at the beginning of the month.
October 2nd.
Got it. And that was pretty much the subject, is how that was and what your experience was over there.
It was amazing, and I want to go back. I don't know. It was just cool to be in like another country and see, like, even for people who speak English, they do things differently. Everything they do is differently. They communicate differently. They eat differently. It's just strange. And I didn't expect...
a culture shock.
Yeah.
Like you kind of thought it was going to be slight culture shock. At least that's what I think about when I think about Ireland. I think I'm going to get a kind of a culture shock, but not to the point where it's like, whoa, I'm in a whole nother world.
Yeah.
But it was a whole nother world.
Because to me, like when you're walking through the streets in like Dublin, it reminded me of like a Harry Potter movie. Like you don't see that stuff at home.
That is pretty sweet.
I don't know. There's bricks and you see sheep and cow and animals everywhere. And it's not like you don't. Of sheep. Yeah. It's not like you don't see it here, but that's because they make all of their stuff, like wool sweaters is their thing.
Oh, wow.
And so.
Did you buy a wool sweater?
No. I bought a scarf. A wool scarf was $30, €30.
Well, what's a wool scarf go for here?
I mean, it's not authentic Irish
true.
wool, so probably cheaper. But there, like the cheapest one was €80, I think.
Okay.
And then that ends up being...
Oh, the sweater was €80.
Yeah. And then it's close to $100 US. And then you also have to pay a tax, which is like 23%.
Oh, their standard tax. On top
of it, it's their VAT tax. And so they pay that on everything except for food and children's clothes, pretty much. So everything is really expensive.
Huh.
But tourists get that back. But the people who live there do not. They have to pay it all the time.
Jeez. Oh, you get that back.
Part of it. I mean, they take a processing fee.
Okay, I got
There's always a fee. But
right.
Yes, we get part of it back.
Huh. Well, I mean, at the same time, I feel like at least you're supporting what you made it sound like a tourist-driven country.
It is. Our tour guide flat out said that that's their biggest like income, and people going home and saying, oh, come here, it's such a great place. And then people come back and people bring their friends and they tell their friends, and everybody's super welcoming. And we only experienced one person who did not like Americans. Everybody else was like, we love you. Spend your money here.
What was that experience like with the individual that wasn't pro-American?
He was at a bar. He was drunk.
Not that many people are pro-American, just FYI. It's understandable. He was drunk, a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all the Americans in the bar, all of us were drunk too, but he was just like sitting there and glaring at us. And then of the older guys, because I was the youngest person on the trip, one of the older guys made a toast And then he just like was like, F this, F that, flicking us off. And he left the bar and he was just grunting. And then when we left the bar, we saw him outside and he like turned a corner to come and follow us and then like stumbled away.
Gross.
But that was probably a personal problem.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I can understand why somebody, I mean, especially, you don't know what, I think that's something that we have to take in consideration is that some of us have no idea how we're portrayed in another country's media. Like,
we turned on a TV once and I was like, oh, we should watch the news because we're in a different country. We should see if it's the first thing I see is Trump's face.
Really?
On their news.
Are you kidding me?
Talking about the shit that's happening here.
Like it was
and
no like accidental,
no,
like you were watching American something.
No.
Like do you remember what the name of the channel was or something?
Well, they only have like one radio TV broadcasting thing on in the country.
I mean, it's small.
Is what it sounds like.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Because it's
small in
the
comparison.
size of, I think, Indiana, somebody said.
Yeah.
But they just have one main, I mean, they have other things, but mainly certain channels. And they were talking about the weather in Dublin and blah, 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 blah afterwards.
Interesting. Were they, did they have accents?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely.
And they speak.
What the heck is up with Trump being on their news? That is so interesting.
Because everyone wants to talk about him.
Gross. That actually. Now, I'm not going to get into podcasts on this.
We did not turn the TV back on.
But that's just so interesting. Regardless of actually, I'll be honest with you, regardless of the president that would be on any, why is our problems being on a, you know what I mean? Like, why are we so broad?
Don't go there.
This isn't actually politics. This is just me saying, like, we have such an impact, apparently, that we're on another country's, main news.
Yeah, I didn't learn anything about Irish news, but then I saw our stuff. I mean, they've got that stuff going on with Northern Ireland and that right now, but I didn't even see that. I just saw Trump. And
did you hear that shortly after you left, I think, they legalized abortion, and then I think it was gay marriage.
I know that they were talking about it because apparently one of the cities we were in has the biggest, like, LGBTQ, I never remember the letter order, but like the biggest pride parade. That makes me look like such an asshole. But the biggest pride parade in Ireland.
Yes,
so Northern Ireland.
It was.
What a day to be gay in Northern Ireland.
Yes. So it did. Yes. So that and abortion happened just recently.
That's a weird combo.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own. I'm not talking about those subjects. I'm just saying that was interesting that, like, while you were there, that was going on.
No, I didn't know. They talked about how they were working on gay marriage, which I think they should.
Yeah.
I think everywhere should.
Right. Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Who cares what other people do, in all honesty? Is there anything else you want to talk about with your Ireland trip? There is so many sheep in those videos. They're so cute.
They're really cute and they're fluffy and they're furry. And so sometimes you go past places and there's just like this steep mountain because there's mountains and hills everywhere and Rockies. And then all of a sudden you'll look and you'll just see this like white fluffy, like it just looks like snow patches. And then all of a sudden the snow patch like hops on down.
That's so funny.
And they move.
They're so ballsy.
Like, how can you walk crooked, like on crooked land all the time without rolling down? And they'll be on the edge of cliffs. And we saw a couple of scapegoats that were
cool.
Following the bus.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
They were
funny.
like, this is my way out. This is my exit. That's funny.
But they stamp all their sheep with like colors and certain letters and stuff. So.
Oh, I'm sure because there's like that if that's their main. Well, you've seen cows too. Did you see any other like main farm?
A lot of donkeys.
Animals? Okay.
We didn't see chickens anywhere, which we were like, where do the chickens come from? Where are the chickens?
Import them.
I know, but still. No, we did not. That
well,
was
you
it.
wouldn't see
Sheep,
chicken. You would see
sheep,
like big old
cow.
buildings filled with chickens.
and we saw those deer, but that was in a nature, not a nature center,
Like a
but
preserve.
it's a preserved area for animals. Yeah.
Oh, so I was talking with a coworker today. If he's listening, you're a badass, and you know who you are. Slammy time.
Slammy time.
Yeah, slammy time. So we wonder what kind of deer that actually was, because I was describing it to
He
him, and he was
told
like,
us.
"Is it like a red stag?" Is what
That sounds
my
familiar.
coworker said. Yeah.
Yes, because there was like the color that we see here, and then there were darker ones, like they looked dark brown
Yeah,
too. And
because that antlers is not.
I've never seen so
that's-
many in one place in my
That's
life.
not normal in this area.
No, they
That's
said
like a
that
trophy kill for us.
one of the kinds of deer were imported.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, you don't see them anywhere. Like we thought we'd see them
Like
more
randomly in the
random,
wild.
but it's just farmland and like
Not so much woods,
no
rolling hills kind of thing.
beautiful hills.
Yeah.
So windy.
Yeah, I know.
Super
Watching over
windy.
some of your footage, it was just like,
That's all you can hear. And then both of our hair is flying sideways and straight up
right.
but rainy, windy, I don't care. It was probably the most amazing place I've ever been.
Oh, yeah.
And I highly recommend it.
Hell yeah. Because then you're helping out the country,
You do. And they're gracious about it. And they,
other than the drunk guy.
yeah. But then I had another drunk guy who tried to take me home.
Oh, that's a compliment. Did he know you were American?
Yes,
Oh.
he did. He wanted to dance. I declined. I did not dance.
decline.
He looked like Voldemort.
Oh, that could have been a role play thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I can be Hermione or so.
Ew. I mean, my hair looked like hers, but
Oh, gosh.
no.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
He was-
awesome, though.
yeah. He was shorter, balder. I could have,
Taking him
had
home.
an Irish man.
Wow. We might have been half on an Irish baby. Okay, we'll get to the next subject. Okay, so here's an interesting one. I was just trying to think of subjects. And I
A
guess
school teacher.
yeah.
Math, science.
No, not exactly.
Okay.
But I was thinking, we've handed out candy because we haven't owned this house, but we've lived in this house for upwards of a decade. And
That's so long.
I know. And
Oh my God.
we've handed out candy to kids quite frequently every year for Halloween.
And I started here even before you lived here. I'd still
Oh,
come up
right.
here when I didn't go trick-or-treating anymore.
Right. So you just hung out with your grandparents. Did you watch scary movies or something at all, or just
Grandpa
wait for
did not do
kids?
scary movies.
Oh, not at all. He wasn't about that.
No, but there was always something
Halloween
on.
Town.
Yeah. He more or less wanted to eat the candy. I love Halloween Town.
Halloween Town was my
That is
jam.
my favorite movie.
I didn't like the last one, but
No, nobody does.
it was a good movie. So then you could even be a testament to this question even more, because I remember throughout my childhood, we handed out candy like a little bit, like 1 year or something. Like, I don't, it really wasn't, but you gotta think, we're in
You
the
guys
middle
were
of
in the
nowhere.
middle of nowhere. I would not want to walk down your dark, scary driveway for candy. I'd rather go buy it.
Well, the thing of it is we even put out pop one time, just for, it was like a case of Mountain
That is
Dew.
like the best house.
Yeah.
The pop house. We had a pop house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like what kind of pop were
Like
you looking
Mountain
for?
Dew.
Yeah, right.
And like Coke and pep, like the good shit with sugar.
I mean, I agree. But we left it out for the kids, and we actually, I don't even think there was none missing, I think.
Aww.
Well,
Well,
it's
you guys
because-
got to drink it then, so that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, that was, but
that would suck.
But
I would
no,
hate to live in a
that's-
place
No,
where you
we
didn't
went
get trick-or-treated.
trick-or-treating.
No, but I'm saying I would hate to live in a place where you didn't get trick-or-treaters
See,
as
we
an
didn't-
adult because I love
Yeah,
it.
but think of my parents. Like, they're saving money. They ain't gonna buy no candy.
True, and then they don't have little assholes running up on their doorstep, stealing their candy like they did last year.
Right. It's not their fault. They tried to hand out candy and nobody ever
tried.
came. Yeah.
They
So
failed.
so they didn't have to buy candy then. It's not their fault that nobody came around.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
No, it was great though because we just went out and we went trick or treating for a while. I used the same stupid like great glow in the dark wolf mask that didn't glow in the dark for a while there at the end.
If it makes you feel better, I was a pink Power Ranger for about 5 years until it didn't fit me anymore.
Dang. And Power Rangers probably became irrelevant.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, maybe not.
Then I was Tigger.
They went on for a while. You still
They
have
came
it.
back.
We have that Tigger outfit
We
in the
do.
closet, actually.
Your brother wore it, remember?
Oh yeah, he did put it on.
It's a child.
Didn't it fit him just
Yeah.
like almost?
It was
a
he's
little
too tall,
big.
but no, he was too tall, I think.
Oh, he didn't put it on all the way?
I think he did.
I can't remember. Oh, maybe he couldn't put the
I
hood
don't
on.
know.
Was that what it
But
is?
yeah, because the hand talked and it was like Tigge, you know.
Oh gosh. But so yeah, it was fucking stupid. But,
So what was your point?
No, I was getting to my point. I was just kind of like getting around thinking about it. We were on little side subjects. That's how you know you're doing a good podcast is when you can try to get to a point, but you end up
Never.
like veering around.
I can't talk to anybody and get straight to a point.
Well, we'll get there. It's okay. We're pretty much almost there. But I was just going to talk to you about this isn't the subject actually still. When you said the pop guy, it reminded me of this one house. You remember the titty bar in my hometown? The titty bar in my hometown. I'm trying not to dox myself by saying
Oh yeah,
live.
like right down the street.
Yeah,
that's
blue.
been a couple different places.
Yes.
But you know it as the titty bar.
Yeah, because that's what it always was.
Did you ever go see titties there?
No, never. Because I wasn't old enough until they got rid of them there.
Who wants to buy the old titty joint?
I don't know.
in
It's
town?
a successful restaurant now. So,
Okay.
behind it though, there's a house. It still is there. I remember one year we went there and they gave us like, I don't remember. It was some sort of pastry, some sort of hostess. I think it was like a cupcake.
Was it wrapped? Like it was pre-made? It's not like
Oh
they
yeah.
made it? Okay.
No, it was like, but it was like going to the pastry aisle instead of the candy.
Like ding dongs.
Yeah,
and-
so they went in. I can't remember exactly what it was. I remember it being like a muffin type of thing, like a double package muffin type of
Dude,
thing.
I would love that.
But
like when I was a kid.
I was hype. Like
That would be
yes.
amazing.
Then we went there.
Something
Hold on.
different.
We went there the next year. They were gone. They like didn't. They weren't handing out candy. I was like, you were about to
because
be my
they went
hookup.
broke on buying the ding dongs and the ho-hos.
Pretty much. It must have been. But I was
Did
super
not a lot of
disappointed.
people go in that neighborhood though?
No, that neighborhood, like for the neighborhood, it had like the inner part. Like if you go around it and kind of make like a square. I mean, isn't that all
Yeah.
small cities? It's just like a rectangular shape kind of
Okay.
thing.
I just didn't. I was gonna say because what if they bought a shit ton of Hostess and then nobody came? Be so sad.
Well, that we did.
I just go back over and over and over again. Switch
Gosh.
out your masks.
No. But so getting to the subject of Halloween is I was thinking, is it starting to, are we just seeing waves because of children or has it been dying off as far as like what you remember here? Since you're more of a suburb than middle of bumfuck Egypt like I am,
This was my trick or treat spot.
Yeah. So try and take away the glamour of it being when you were younger and then like getting older and then just seeing it now. Cause like we get on average like 80 to 100 or something.
Yeah, and there's been somewhere where it's been like 40 to 50.
That was like 5 or 6 years ago. I feel like we didn't really have all that much. So it's
And we had a
almost
shit
like,
ton of candy because that's when your brother and sister were living here and they bought it too.
oh yeah, we went all in and
we
we
all
had
got diabetes for Halloween. Oh god.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
November
don't
1
know.
is type 1
Right. Oh shit.
time.
I don't know. I think
Is it just the age changing in this area?
here this used to be like you got to think my grandparents lived here. So it was like their grandkids when I was young. But these people, like our neighbors across the street, are still my grandparents' age.
Right.
And they've lived here as long as we've lived here, like
Yeah.
my grandparents. And so they don't have kids anymore. Their kids, grew up and had their own kids and lived somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's not a lot of kids in this neighborhood anymore.
That's very true.
So the people who do come here, I don't feel like live here. It's like their grandkids or their friend. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, it's like bring your kids
I
over.
would
We'll take them out trick or treating.
yeah. And I feel like a lot of people bring their kids to like the malls and these trick or treat events because then it's all in one area. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to like drive down the street or walk a bunch. You just like get out here. Those are all your spots. Let's go home.
Yeah.
It's easier,
Yeah, way easier.
but it's not as fun. Like my mom used to drive because they'd walk a lot of the time. But I remember when I got older, they would like drive down the street, drop us off, and then we'd like walk back and meet them.
Oh,
like
right.
we'd park here
You'd run
and
into
then
them.
we'd go get all the houses, they'd catch up or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how, or like in a cul-de-sac, they'd drop us off at the end and we'd just like, we'd
Make
hit
your way.
every house. You don't skip a house because that could be the good house.
Yeah, where they got the good stuff.
And I remember all my friends always hated the Tootsie Roll houses. Those were
Yeah,
my
I'd eat the shit out of
favorite.
those. I
Because
can't
they
really
were like,
think-
those are the cheap houses.
I think I didn't like sweet tarts.
I was the weird kid though. I didn't like peanut butter.
See,
I didn't really like chocolate.
we'd have
We
made
are
good trade buddies.
yes. And my mom ate it all. Like
Yeah.
I trick or treated for my mom and my my grandpa and my uncles.
Yeah.
And then I ate like the Twizzlers and the Tootsie Rolls and the Skittles that nobody wanted.
Oh, see, I'd eat that. It was just like the weird.
Like butterscotch rounds. Did
Yeah,
you ever
like
have
hard
those?
candy. I didn't want hard candy.
No, you wonder how long they had that and did they get it from steal it from the
Ooh.
nursing home?
I didn't think about that until now, but thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Well, okay, so here, now that we've kind of like gone off of it, I did find like a wiki. I don't know if this
Like
okay.
a Wikipedia page?
No, it wasn't an
What's
actual Wikipedia. I'm just saying I Googled something.
Okay.
And I don't know the
Dumb it down.
I don't have like 100% citing on this, so just bear with me on this. It's probably true.
Because it's from the internet. It's true.
Exactly. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain.
You said Celtic correctly. The Irish people would be proud of you.
Oh yeah, well it is Celtic. It's not
Well,
Celtic.
people say Celtic.
That's
Sorry.
because that's what our basketball team, the
yeah.
Celtics.
Mhm. That's exactly what the lady said.
It's just like
Sorry.
No,
They
it's-
said that they don't care what you
this
call
is a
it.
Celtic festival. The Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now Ireland. See, that's why I thought this was an interesting segue.
That is.
The United Kingdom and Northern France celebrated their New Year on November 1st. So
That's not a new year.
that's when they celebrated. You can make a new year whenever you want.
No.
It's just 364 days from now.
Okay.
65, whatever, however you want to say it. This day marked the end of the summer. This is why, so this is throwing right back into you thinking it's not the end of the year. But this is what they considered the end of the year because this day marked the end of the summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time that was often associated with human death. Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghost of the dead returned to Earth. There was a big other like subsection to that, but I just thought
That's cool.
yeah, so that's just kind of like the origin, and now it's turning. I mean, it's still kind of the same thing because it's like a celebration kind of thingy or whatever, but it's just now it's like just I don't know. It's just Americanized I don't know if they do it the same elsewhere.
I feel like they don't, because they were telling us when we were in Ireland that they have like one of the biggest Halloween festivals in one of these cities that I don't even remember because we went to so many.
Yeah.
But they were like, they don't do Halloween like we do it here.
Right. Like
And
it's
I don't
a
know.
festival elsewhere,
Yes.
not like just trick or treating.
No, like we went to this mall and there was this witch like that they had hanging from the ceiling that was like the size of a freaking truck and like decorations everywhere.
Jeez.
And I don't know. I guess I haven't been to the mall in a while, but I don't think you see that here.
No. Well, I mean, you see some, but I feel like trick or treating is the mainstay for Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know how what they do there.
What if we just
they do the same thing?
What if we could just totally like go conspiracy theory and say that our version of Halloween, the Americanized version, is just a form of mind control to get us to get diabetes every year?
It could be, because then it boosts our healthcare stuff because we got to spend more money. And, then the drug processing companies are like, you need some metformin.
It's just like setting somebody up for nicotine as well.
Yeah.
You're setting
Well, that's
somebody
why
up.
they glamorized it. They made it so cool. Years ago, it
Marlboro
was
Man?
glamorized. Yeah.
The Marlboro Man.
And then, you want a cool kayak? Well, save all your cigarette points and you can mail them in.
Bitches say box tops.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
But don't you feel more inclined to buy something like a brand that you know you're going to get something back from?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like anything.
No. But I just thought that was interesting. Like
that is interesting.
That is what Halloween has, like, potential origins. And now we just like hand out a shit ton of candy to kids.
Yeah.
Every year. Does that seem interesting? Like, why candy?
Well,
I love to just poke at that kind of stuff. Not saying that I certainly believe that.
Well, we gave out full-size diabetes last year because we gave the full-size candy bars.
We should do that again this year. Because
No.
Why not?
Because the little jerks, when I tried to I was the nice lady who tried to give them an option, and I was like, do you like peanut butter or do you like this? And then the little jerk shoved their hands in and they grabbed a handful and they ran. That happened twice, and then I wasn't nice and did not give them an option anymore.
Then just hand one out. Why are you trying to be way too cool?
Because
this kid,
because I was the kid who hated Snickers. I would have rather had the Twix.
You put a bowl out to a kid. You look at Oscar. Look at Oscar.
He's so cute.
You put a bowl of food in that man, and you just expect him to take one piece. He's fucking in there. He's eating the shit. You try to pull that bowl away, he's like growling.
It's expensive though. That's the thing that I don't like is that it's super expensive.
What was it that you wanted
to buy? But it's fun.
buy?
I like to see the little kids. They had at Sam's Club, they had like Oreos and Nutter Butters and Chips Ahoy cookies and like these little packages of like 3 cookies and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Or they had like not Chex Mix, Cheez-Its.
Gotcha.
And stuff. I don't know. And they had Hostess stuff, like the Hostess people. And I was like, it's cheaper and it's different because every kid, like half the houses are going to give these kids the same stuff.
Cheez-Its.
I would have liked the Cheez-Its. I don't know.
Fuck Cheez-Its.
I like Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its are good, but like on Halloween, boy, I got a sweet tooth.
But they're going to get so much candy from everybody else. You got to be a little different.
Cheez-Its are going to get...
Okay, no Cheez-Its. We'll get the Ding Dongs and the Hostess cupcakes.
They're going to sit there for 2 months.
I'm not giving them out. I'm going to eat them.
The Cheez-Its are going to sit there because it's going to be the last thing they snack on. I might be wrong.
Their parents,
might be totally
I don't know,
wrong.
because I feel like
I'm just saying.
I was always, but like I said, I was the weird kid. I was always excited.
Restarting camera. Go ahead, sorry.
I was always excited to get the stuff that nobody else liked. So there will be like 1 out of 10 kids who's like, yeah, Cheez-Its.
That's true.
Score.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I think you're right.
We'll go to Sam's Club and investigate. Plus, I just don't want to spend a shit ton of money on candy. I looked, and for 80 pieces, it was like $15. And if you hand out a handful to each kid, or even like 3, 4 pieces.
Sometimes we've had 80 people. 80
exactly.
Kids.
So we'd need like 4 bags, and that's like $60. That's a lot of money. I'm giving y'all toothbrushes.
Why don't you? We should.
Oh, no, they'd egg our house.
These kids are too young for that, though. They can't get around.
Toothbrushes are expensive, too.
Yeah, we'll go to the dollar store.
We just turn the light off and eat the candy inside. No candy, no trick-or-treating.
Right, exactly.
That'd be so not fun. I love seeing the little kids.
No, it is pretty cool.
And they're all dressed up and they look adorable, and then they're like, trick or treat.
Some of them just like don't say nothing though. I can't tell if
no,
it's because
it's awkward. How is it not awkward for a kid when you're, especially nowadays, when you're told, do not talk to strangers, do not go to weird people's houses. So please go bang on this stranger's house and hope they don't give you candy laced with acid. Like,
if I answer laced with acid.
I mean, don't you remember the years they used to put the little safety pin or the little pick? Like the pins in the candy.
That's super sick though. I mean, who knows?
It's weird for kids now, and kids are kind of socially awkward now. I feel like when it comes to
next time they come around, I'll be like, "Yo, what's up, kids?"
You wore a T-Rex costume like 2 years ago and scared the crap out of some kids.
Well, some of them wanted to take pictures with me. They're like,
"That's
"Can we
true.
take pictures?" I'm like, "What
that
the
was
fuck?"
Cool.
Okay. Sure.
That was cute.
I'll stand here sweating my fucking ass off in this dinosaur costume.
I feel like that's why we don't get a ton either, is because it gets really cold now here.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean,
you have to put on like sweatpants under your super cute little witch costume.
But at the same time, I remember it was like a couple years or a year after. It was like 1991. I was a baby.
That's when there was the blizzard.
There was the blizzard
that everybody talks about.
Yeah, and I remember they were telling me how they were like trudging through snow just to.
My kid would not have gotten candy that year.
Halloween, and you're trudging through snow? That's too early. But you got to think though, we've shifted, because if you take October, when do we normally? What would you consider normal for get snow? I'd say mid-November. Mid-November, like if you
depends
got
upon
snow,
the year. Sometimes we don't get it until Christmas or after.
I know, but I'm just saying, what would you consider normal? I mean, throughout the years that you've experienced snow.
Yeah,
you're nearly 30 years.
I don't really pay that much attention, but I feel like later November, early December.
Yeah, so I would say the same thing.
Most average.
So if you were to go back a month, now sometimes I would consider probably February.
I hate February.
All I'm saying is it's interesting to see that winter would come that early, and now it's like late.
Global warming, that's another topic.
That's not only the topic, though. It's because there's actual... That's the thing. It's really hard because we haven't kept records for so long. I'm trying not to like super side tangent, but there's people that have all these like graphs, and they're like, deaths by whatever since this age. And it's like, yes, that's an interesting statistic, but at the same time, that statistic has only lasted for so long because it's only been around for so long and we haven't even kept record of it or whatever. You know what I mean? And so it's really hard we don't keep a ton of records for it. So
for snow?
No, I'm just saying, like, we don't have records going back 10,000 years. You know what I mean? So
I gotcha.
So it's just off of what we know. So there have been patterns where like weather has been it goes back and forth, temperature goes up, and I think that's just normal. It's just now like it's getting worse because changes in weather aren't technically like uncommon. Like you can see it throughout the 30 years we've been here. Some like years, clusters of years, we get a shit ton of snow.
I know, yeah.
And then after a while, it's just sometimes it's really cold and sometimes it's like super warm. I remember sometimes we'd go out hunting one year, and I was nearly in a t-shirt.
Now that would have been nice.
I mean, it was okay, but it was also
that can't be good for hunting, though, is it?
No, because then they're just kind of leisure around. They don't feel the need to move around.
Because doesn't cold weather make them move?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can see them against the snow.
That too, yeah. But we don't get snow very often now with hunting. Usually at the end of November is when it kind of starts to snow. But you got to think, how many times has there been more than a couple inches on Thanksgiving? Like, there's rarely ever snow on Thanksgiving.
It's almost Thanksgiving.
But, and then to go back on that, yeah, I know. But to go back on that, I remember years going deer hunting and it just being nothing but snow. When I was
That's true. When
15.
I used to go, that's like still the time when I used to go.
Right.
With my stepdad and his
There
kids.
was not, it
and my
was
mom
not,
even used to go.
snow.
And we'd
snow
be
every
like
time.
trudging through
Right.
snow. And I'm like, why would anybody want to do this? Why would anyone want to go sit in the woods in the freezing cold and trudge through the snow
Yeah.
to shoot a poor little innocent deer?
You do know if we didn't take care of them, they'd go rampant.
I know. I just couldn't
it's
do
not
it.
entirely true. but-
I just couldn't do it. That's
I
my
don't
thing.
blame
So
you.
I used to go and then I'd sit there and be like, this is stupid. It's cold. I have to pee.
Okay, so you know what's funny?
Not hunting, not Halloween.
You know what's funny is
What?
that I perfectly set that up. And I love how you totally segued for me. That doesn't happen very often. But that was a part of my segue, is when you were talking about killing a deer. I was going to say, like, about ethics about hunting and how I go. And I was just going to talk to you about that. It's
Yeah.
like, I know you don't really enjoy the idea of what I do, but
I don't,
are
it
you
doesn't
against-
bother me.
Are you against it at any?
No, I don't think, I think if you,
I thought I seen snow outside. Sorry. Don't look at me like that. It looked like it.
no snow. No, it's our flickering display of Halloween decorations.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
No.
so just a backdrop on that. Sorry.
On our decorations?
No, on the hunting part.
Oh.
Is that just some prerequisite? Our family does not. We're not like like crazy trophy hunters.
No,
we're not
you do
like,
it leisurely.
Well, that and yeah, exactly. We're not trying to. You know, it's cool to get a nice big deer with a big rack for some of our family, but we're not just killing to kill. Everybody
Yeah.
in our family puts the deer to use, and we don't like just waste it to hunt just to hunt.
Yeah.
Like, everybody enjoys venison. So it's just like, that's just a I love how you say that, but we have no idea where the cow from in our last burger came from.
No, I know. And I'm not saying there's anything, but I like the taste of a cow, I guess, no matter where it comes from.
Yeah,
but I
true.
don't like the taste of venison. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But that's why,
Like
to
deer sticks?
me,
When was the last time you
yeah,
had
I don't
one of
like
those?
any type of like jerky or anything smoked. And I don't know. There's something about like hard, like dried up meat.
Oh, yeah.
It just is, I don't know.
I'm not a huge jerky fan
I've tried
either, but-
venison. I have tried it in multiple forms. I tried it in hamburgers, and they made like the little jerky stick things. And I don't know. I just don't like the taste of it.
I've heard of like people blending to make like a cheaper,
Yeah.
to like make.
Well,
to, like,
some
make
people love
more
venison. Like my
because
best friend Stephanie,
venison's
she
cheap.
loves venison.
Yeah.
And which is weird to me. She told me to tell you that if you ever get a deer someday,
Yeah. Well, I got one 15 years ago when I was 15. Yeah.
that maybe she could have some of it. But
I got a new spot this year, so
might be the year.
I found a literal fresh, wet shit just 100 yards from my new
Yeah.
current deer stand. So
That's
if-
nice.
I'm hoping
It
to get
could
something.
be the year.
There's somebody there.
Ethics.
So yeah, so ethics. It's like, how do you? I mean, obviously, you kind of went over it.
Yeah, I
But-
don't think there's anything wrong with hunting as long as you are eating what you hunt or utilizing. If you're just hunting to kill, I don't like that.
When you say utilizing, though,
But
then we got to get
eating.
back to like fur.
Okay,
'Cause is
yes, I
fur
get that you're
is-
not utilizing all of it.
That's different nowadays.
It
like
is.
fur meant something back in the
Are
day.
you going to go out there and
But
skin the deer? No.
but fur isn't, because we're getting to what is a really bad fur. I mean, pretty much fur in any.
A lot of people don't buy fur and use real animal fur anymore.
Right.
Anyways, they do
'Cause
like
it's
the
more a
vegan leather and
It's a designer choice. It's
Yeah.
not like back
personal
way
preference
back when.
too.
way back when though, fur was used as like a sweater, like
Yeah.
our equivalent of a sweater.
Now we get it from
Because
China.
They didn't, because they didn't have like what do they call that? What is like
Looms?
looms and stuff. They didn't have they didn't have a thread needle basically. So I mean, I
Yeah.
can understand it had a purpose, but now it's more used to be like,
Now it's food.
ooh, I'm fancy.
Or like you said.
The fur, is what I'm saying.
But nobody wears deer
No, but you,
fur.
God damn it. When we're talking about hunting, and when you
Just in
said,
general.
when you said as long as you're putting it to use, and I was like, well, fur is kind of like a shitty way to put something to use.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of waste on those animals.
Yeah,
Nowadays, it's just strictly for meat, or if they have, like, if it's a buck and they have antlers.
yeah,
And sometimes people don't even do anything with the antlers unless it's a big rack to display, you know?
right.
But I think as long as you're going to go out, you're going to hunt it, and you're going to aim to kill and not let this animal suffer,
True, right.
then you do it. And if you're going to eat it, but if you're not going to or not going to put it to use, but there's even like some shelters that you can donate
right,
the meat to
absolutely.
for people who, need it.
Yep.
And I
think
think that's
there's-
fine. I just could never shoot a poor little innocent deer.
I think there's actually places where you can just dump a deer off and they process it and
And
then donate it.
To me, I don't know. I think that's kind of stupid. I like the fact that they do it for a good reason, but then I'm like, why'd you go out to shoot the animal to drop it off somewhere?
Maybe they just wanted to make a donation.
Then donate canned goods.
Because you can't, they won't give out more licenses than,
Yeah.
like, you can buy a license, but
Yeah.
for certain game, you can't just like, they won't give out unlimited license just so you can, especially
that's like
like
some of them
wolves
have,
and
like,
stuff.
the
It's like a
lottery.
lottery. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So it's not just like, oh my gosh, they're gonna wipe out the population.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I just have a different view on it because I don't eat it.
no, I think my
yeah.
views are pretty much the same because
Yeah.
I don't believe in if see, that's the thing. My dad will eat it, but I'll only eat sticks. So I guess I would eat it, but it would just take me a long ass time to eat it because it'd just be sticks.
Well,
Probably
yeah,
just-
whole deer of sticks.
So I mean, I'll
You'd have
probably
to, like-
hunt for the rest of my life because
You'd probably
We own
have
that
to
cabin.
like freeze some of it and like give it away for burgers or
well, going
whatever.
back to my coworker, I think his son shot a deer.
Yeah.
I don't think it was him. Maybe it was him, but I'm pretty sure it was his son. Maybe not. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Him or his son shot a deer.
Yes, and he gave me a stick yesterday.
Yeah.
So
And you like it?
I was like, "Is this the same deer you've been giving?"
Oh my God. Last year when I started, it's the same deer.
It is. That's what I mean. It's just been in his
Yeah.
freezer.
No, I get it.
He's got all sorts of stuff.
I mean,
I
You
love how
do
you're just
you.
like you.
because I don't like it. So I get it, but I don't like it.
I think it's I think what as far as like the flavor or not the flavor, like the whole it's the meat itself. I think it's because it's like a wild animal. A
Yeah.
cow is like a dormant, just sits there and fucking
Big
it's
ol'
not
Yeah.
rough meat. You know, like a deer is active,
Yeah.
running around like it's tough meat. So I think that's kind of like the thing. It's just tastes wild.
Okay, you're gonna make me a vegetarian. New subject.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think that's very true. Because
I
everyone
totally
says it's
agree with
more
you.
gamey and
I
whatever.
wouldn't say gamey. It's
I
just
don't know. That's what I always hear. But I think it's like more tough,
It is tough. Yeah.
and I don't know how to describe it. It's been a while.
For me, my opinion on it, it kind of grosses me out either way, and I can understand why my sister doesn't like want to eat meat. So I
Represent Jessica.
I totally am there. I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't disagree. But for me, I feel like at least knowing that I earned it, even though it's not as good, knowing I earned it doesn't feel as gross as sometimes when I eat a burger and I don't know where the fuck it came from. I don't know the life it lived. And granted, I don't know the life of this deer that lived, but at least I was the one to harvest this animal rather than some weird caged thing. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to like get all super into it, but I'm just saying you stated your opinion. This is my opinion that at least it doesn't feel that gross to me because of that. That it's just like I earned that versus
Well, and you know
the
that
other way
they're
around.
eating things
like it's a
in the
nature.
wild.
Yes.
You know, they're not eating
It's like
whatever the
corn
farmer
all
gives
the time
them
or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't, they're just
Yeah.
force
And like you
feeding
said,
them
some
the
of
same.
them don't live humane lives and
Yes.
go freaking crazy. And
Right. So I think even though I don't enjoy it as much, that whole like grossness factor of eating an animal is lesser for me because of that.
I just try not to think about it when I eat it.
Well, here's the thing. How do you think a shark feels when it eats whatever the fuck it wants? It literally, I mean,
I don't think a shark cares. Do you think a shark thinks about it and it's like, oh, I can't eat this fish?
that's the point?
Oh, okay.
Because like it eats what it's given.
But I'm given options. So
Oh gosh, you're right.
this shark does not have options. I have options.
I'm saying this has to happen in nature to exist.
I know.
I'm not saying anything is right and I'm not saying anything is wrong, but there has to, this whole like the whole food chain, somebody has to eat somebody. Oh, whether it be this or
Poor
that.
fishies.
Whether it's this or that, somebody has to go. And you know what? Plants are somebody. Plants are built in the same way that we are, down to some molecule at the very core of our being. Carbon.
You look like an aloe plant.
Carbon. And all those things that we're made of, they have feelings too, okay? Don't laugh at me.
Will you whisper to my plant behind you?
Yes.
Tell him how beautiful he is.
Can they
My
see?
aloe plant.
It's like it's got little. It's an aloe plant and it's got little. I forget that this podcast's on Spotify, so they can't see this.
It's a giant ass aloe plant.
It's huge, and it's got little like.
It won't die. Not that I'm trying to kill it, but
It's been in
if
some
it was any other
bad situations.
plant, it should have died.
Yeah. Like,
But it is surviving, and it
trooper.
had little aloe babies somehow in the pot. So, anyone needs an aloe plant.
well, on to the next subject. We
You couldn't transition that.
couldn't transition.
What is the aloe plant leading into?
No, it's not. But transitioning from that, we can go a totally better way because this is. You see how
Took
like
a dark turn.
when I made these subjects, it only took me like 5 minutes, and I got these segues fucking awesome. Even though
You
can't,
wouldn't tell me the subjects.
I know, but I'm just saying, even though we're not segueing,
We're segueing.
no, it's just a good way to segue. Because I was gonna ask you, for those who don't know, which is I don't know. There's only like 18 people that watched the last podcast, so my numbers.
My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister,
Okay, you don't have to go into detail, Dick.
my girlfriend, me.
Yep. Okay. There we go. Okay. So for those who don't know, Megan here is a nurse, and she recently just got into labor and delivery. You see the segue I was trying to make?
No.
Take life. Well, now we're talking about bringing
Bring
back
life.
life. Yes, exactly.
Babies.
So I was just going to ask, since you have brought in what sounds like a few or many people into this world, but now you are like solely in charge of this, and you've
Saw me.
done it independently on your own, not training anyways. A couple of them. So how has it felt? And I know you've said this to me, but like go into more detail that I haven't heard about your emotions a little deeper down when it comes to knowing that you're cradling what could be, me or somebody that no, not me. God damn it. Somebody who'd grow up to be an adult and
yeah.
you're just starting a life.
100%.
You have no idea where this person's going to end up, and it's just kind of interesting.
It is. I never thought that I would want to be a labor and delivery nurse. Never in a million. You could not have paid me to think that I would want to do that. It was my least favorite subject in school. I hated everything about it. Because I'm like, all of these things that can go wrong, all of the bad things that can happen, but that can happen anywhere.
Right.
But I still remember one of the first deliveries that I had
Like,
when I was training.
yeah.
And it was one of the first ones where she's like, you do it. Like, you go
Oh,
on
shit.
and
Like,
like,
they kind
I'm
of pushing
here.
you.
Yeah. And a lot of the times they were like, I'm here more or less for your questions or if something goes wrong.
She's just watching
But you
the
kind
whole
of like,
time.
I'm your babysitter, basically.
Right.
Don't fuck up. That's basically what they do. And so it was this mom and dad, and it was their second baby, and they knew it was going to be their last.
Oh.
And they had a boy. This was going to be a girl. And they were just the happiest like couple that I've ever seen. And I've never seen like a mom and a dad just so in sync, and they were just like trying to enjoy it. And so many people are like, I want to get this over. I want to be done.
Oh, geez.
Because it's painful. I mean, I get it. And it's not like it's comfortable to have a child. And so they just are like, I want to be done.
Right.
But these people were like really trying to like savor the moment. They're like, we're never going to be in this position again. We're never going to have this child again and all of that. And I remember like the dad kind of helped bring the baby to the mom and this and that, and probably too graphic, but
No, I
like
don't
they
think that's too
both
graphic.
just started, because I was with them throughout the whole thing. So I was like invested into it. And I felt like I knew who this baby was, and I knew these people, because you
Yeah.
get to know them when you're in a room with them for 8 to 12 hours.
Right.
You have to talk to them to
Yeah.
get to know them. Like,
Yep.
I'm not just going to rip a baby out and,
That's that. I never
that's
spoke
that.
a word.
Goodbye. Hands
Right.
clean.
Oh, you ready? Okay, push it out. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
And so I don't know, like the second that baby was here, and the second the baby like cried, the mom and the dad started bawling, and they both were
Aw.
like looking at each other, and he was like, "You're so beautiful. I love." And I'm just over there and I'm like, "Oh my God." And I just started crying.
Oh my gosh, you're
And
so beautiful,
It
Jesus.
was I mean, you have to think until you've been there, what you've never been there. It's hard to imagine what a woman can do.
How many did they have before this?
Just one.
Okay, so this was their second
Their
one.
second baby.
Got it.
And just because you've had one doesn't mean you remember anything from the first, because
No,
it's
right.
just such a whirlwind. But they it was the sweetest thing. And just to know that you were a part of that, and to see that, and to like witness someone's most joyous moment that they could possibly ever have.
Yeah,
Like-
that's pretty crazy.
I mean, it's just, I can't even describe it. I don't know. It's an amazing feeling. And you have really sad times, and, but most of the time they're really happy. And like this week I had a woman who had a million questions because it was her first baby, and you feel good about
Reassuring them.
teaching them these things.
Oh,
I
right.
don't have any kids.
Yeah.
I've never had a child, but I still know enough to be able to give them the information that they need to know.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just such a big thing. And then I think about the kids. Like I'll look at the babies and I'm like, are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a lawyer? Are you going to be a serial killer? Like what, where are
Right.
you going to be? And just to think about like the life that they're going to have. It's, I don't
There's
know.
a funny little, this is off subject a little bit, but there was a funny little thing that reminded me of is me and my buddy Matt back in North Branch.
Mm-hmm.
I probably already said this to you, but we'd drive around and we'd go on to Highway 35, or we'd go on this road that got really close up to the highway. Like you were just like feet from the ditch that eventually was the road. And we'd just sit there, totally not, inhaling any smoke or nothing like that. We weren't doing that as a kid.
You weren't inhaling smoke,
No, there wasn't any.
little green leaves.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Oh,
And that's way
No.
too in detail.
Oh.
I was saying I don't remember anything like that. Well, we'd sit there at the edge of Highway 35 and we'd just watch cars pass. And I just remember looking at this and I could catch their face. I could catch a glimpse of their face and like see in detail who they are, at least for just a second. And I don't think about it too much. Sometimes I do nowadays, but I just look at them and be like, where is this person going? Why do they look like that? Whether it be happy, whether it be just normal, whether it be just, and I know they're just driving, but
But you know,
where
you're
are
never
they
going to see
off
that
to?
person again. And
Exactly.
like, what are they doing?
Oh, and then
Where are they
TikTok.
gonna end up?
There's people that like go in through the meta of TikTok because sometimes if you've never seen a person before
Mm-hmm.
and you've never like if they're not a popular content creator and you swipe and you find them and then there's some people that get into the meta and they're like, "Hey, I'm just going to tell you a funny joke. Chances are you'll never see me again." Because if you don't like it, and then
It's weird.
it's
to
just
think
kind of
about
interesting that I'm laughing at this person and
You gave me joy for how many seconds, and
And
I'm
I'm-
never going to think about see you. Ever
especially
again.
if I don't like them, like don't like that, the
You'll
algorithm,
never see it again.
the algorithm that it's made, unless they put out something that's super popular again, yeah, I will never see him again. So that's also like the
bizarre.
highway. It was just like
Yeah.
I'll never see him again. And
That's
chances
like these
are
babies.
these kids,
Unless
you'll never see
I'm a
them.
nurse that working in this hospital for 20 some years,
And you're in a
I might
different-
see them have their kids, which some of the
Right.
nurses in our hospital have delivered their babies' babies,
That's crazy.
which is insane. And they remember
Yeah.
them. Like, even though I probably, to me, I might not ever remember them, but they will always remember me
yeah,
in some way.
right.
That's weird for me to think about too. And I think about all the pictures I'm in, like in baby pictures.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
and they're going to be like, there was that nurse. I don't remember her name. She sucked ass, or, oh, we really liked her.
Oh, true. Huh.
But I'm not,
You're a story
I'm
to
not
a
going
bunch
to
of
remember
people.
them.
Huh.
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, you just go through. See, that's the thing with my job.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have to support a ton of people, but they all look to me.
Yeah.
Well, you
They
know what
all
I mean?
know
Or
you,
me
but that
or
doesn't
my
mean
coworker.
you're going to know
By the
all
way,
of them.
I know you're listening out there. You do an awesome job helping me out. I've told you to just throw them my way, but
Who?
my coworker,
What's up, coworker?
my office partner.
What's up, office partner?
You know who I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
Slammy time, you know what I mean?
Ew. Gross.
Okay. They come to
I'm
basically
sorry
us.
that you're listening to this.
It's different because I have, oh God, I have to go to 100 people and they have to go to one.
Yeah.
So I feel bad because they all remember my name when I
And
see
you're
them in the
like,
hallway. And I'm
sure,
like,
Mr.
fuck.
So-and-so.
I'm getting it down nowadays.
You're like a science teacher, right?
Yeah. I'm getting it down now because it's my second year in. So a lot of the teachers are the same.
But they're going to cycle out.
But some of them have been there
I
for
mean,
a while.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
some of
I
them
don't
have
know.
cycled out. But
It's strange.
it's different. It's interesting how it's not like working at a kitchen where somebody's just like sick of their job or,
Yeah.
it's a little different. So people don't like come and go.
Do you ever remember somebody in a certain, like, that drove by? Like, say, do you remember a certain person, like, in a certain vehicle that looked a certain way and just
No.
ever, like, think, no?
No.
Nothing sticks out.
Because-
That's how, like, minuscule it is.
Yeah, because it was just, there wasn't much to go off of in that short amount of time, especially when you're asking a brain to remember and register. It's like those tests where they give you the image and they're like, what color was the shirt? And you're like, fuck, I didn't even get a chance to see what color the car was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like you're just living in that short moment and questioning what that person is. You don't have enough to remember them by because you barely got the chance to
That's true.
come up with something.
But it's cool to make an impact on someone's life, though, when you think about it.
No, absolutely.
Because some of these can, teachers will probably remember you.
Oh, yeah,
Forever.
I suppose. Oh, were you asking about school or were you asking about
No,
the
like
car thing?
no, like the car thing.
Like a random person that I seen and I.
'Cause, like,
oh, okay. I was just making sure. I was like,
randomly,
wait.
like, I remember certain, like, I don't know, like, old people for some reason resonate with me because I always want to know what kind of life they lived.
Oh yeah.
Just kind of a weird thing when I say it out loud. It sounded better in my head.
No,
But
I don't think that sounds weird at all.
when you see people who are like 70, 80 years old and you're like, where
yeah.
were you? What did you do?
Yeah, I've thought that a couple times.
And then there's certain ones that I'm like, I saw them somewhere. Like, what are they doing? Why are they? I
yeah.
don't know.
Right.
Weird.
Well, I just think for me, it's the urgency in a vehicle when I see somebody, because it's like it's different when you see somebody on the highway, but it was just like, is this person going to like an emergency? Is this person going, like, who knows where this person could be going? That was the trip for me, because it's like, I have no idea. This person could have needing me to take a shit right now.
I gotta poop. I gotta poop.
I don't know.
Clench the cheeks.
They're just weird thoughts. It's just kind of, there's just so
The
many
top of
us.
your screen says "Go fuck yourself."
That was
Is that a quote?
that's a quote by Vice President Dick Cheney to Senator Patrick Leahy during an angry exchange
I thought he was saying that to me.
on the Senate floor about profiteering by Halliburton. So now that you introduced the quote and we're up to an hour, it's a perfect segue that you noticed the quotes on my screen.
I can't read anything, but I can read "Go fuck yourself."
That wasn't one of the ones that I wanted to save. So
That's not the one you're gonna read to me.
no. So I'm gonna just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. So let's try a random
Yeah,
one.
I can't read anything else on there.
Oh man, this is all like law stuff.
No, just go away.
Interesting. How about philosophy? Here, let's just sit here in this section. Okay.
I suck at philosophy type stuff.
I don't know. I'll just read one instead of like pre-reading it. May you live in interesting times and attract the attention of important people. That is full version of the famous Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times and attract the attention of important people.
Why do I have to attract important people?
I don't know.
That kind of reminds me of like what we were talking about. But then why important people? I don't give a shit if you're important.
I think the culture is
I'm
kind of changed.
probably not understanding.
Here, well, no, before we get into that, let me just introduce you to this section. I like to end the podcast with a
Rewind.
Yeah, I like to end the podcast with a section that I like to call "Fuck Up Your Philosophy," where I find random quotes on the internet. I think
Do a different quote. I don't like that quote.
no, because I'm going to break it down just real quick. We can do 3 if we really want to. I think with this one, I think that they are very much, pushing forward the important people part. Like that very much felt like the majority of the whole point there. And I think that though this quote may make sense, within the early part of the century, and I guess for all mankind existence, but up until recently, I think I spoke about this in another podcast. I don't know, they're all starting to blur in, but importance is starting to become a very different, like important people is becoming a very different definition, because we take human beings and put them on a pedestal of some sort, whether it be in the government, whether it be in entertainment, whether it be in sports, whether it be in what have you. And that has happened for so long. And even before then, when we want to talk about like people, even before like television, we can even get as far as back in radio, there were important people. You go even farther back, it was mostly important people were either part of a government or part of the rebellion of the government. And then important people it's probably more of a smaller scale, because a farmer could have been an important person back in the day. So an important person has changed as culture has changed, because you got to think like the trade of information is so easy. And I've said this before, like I said, again, that sounded really dumb to say that, but the trade of information is so much different that like people like Greta Thunberg, I think her name, Greta Thunberg, that girl who spoke
the climate stuff. Yeah,
she's important.
She's so smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where did she come from? She's not even through. Is she through high school?
That's true, because she's gonna probably make an impact.
Yeah,
but she is making an impact.
Oh, absolutely. And then you get down to like a SoundCloud rapper versus somebody on the radio.
I think I was misinterpreting it. I felt like important was
just
like
old.
Yeah.
I think
I think you're right. Like important to me is different than what important to
Logan
you is.
Paul
like,
could be an important person nowadays.
Yeah, he could.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because now you can look at so many more people on so many other pedestals versus what I was fed via somebody saying it to me
Well,
or
it doesn't
somebody
have to
showing
be
it to
like
me.
a famous person. It could be like your mom or your dad or your dog.
That's true
or,
too.
The person
Wow,
who...
see, you didn't want to do the
I
quote,
know.
and now you totally brought
I know,
in...
or it could be the very nice person who paid for your Starbucks before you.
Right.
Right?
Yes, I think that's totally within the bounds of that.
Okay, I get it. That makes sense now.
You got to just... Like there was this one quote about like beating women or something, and we
don't beat women.
No, but it had to, I don't know. We broke it down. That's the thing. You just take the quote and you just break it down. Okay. What? Oh, you can't read it?
No.
I don't know. They just point one out.
That I can't see?
Oh, true.
Let's go fourth from the top.
Fourth from the top? Like, not this one, not this one, not this one, but this one?
Yeah.
If you don't like the emotional experience you're having, change your mind.
I like that. Say it one more time. Say it again. I like that.
I could say it without even looking at it. If you don't like the emotion, shut the fuck up. If you don't like the emotional experience you're having, change your mind.
Love it.
You don't have to,
philosophy.
You don't have to break that down.
I don't have to break it down.
It's
just
easy.
Like, that is a good quote.
Yeah.
Some people are so negative and cannot change their mindset that they're like stuck. And it's true. And some people can't control it.
Yeah.
Some people can't. But you always have options and like different.
I think a lot of people, do. Definitely. Mm-hmm. I think we all, like me and you both have options to decide. I like to preach a lot about like soaking up the experience. I don't practice what I preach a lot because sometimes I feel like I can't handle stress very well. But you
just handle it differently than others.
I actually mean it when I say like right now at this very moment at 7:58 p.m. 10/22/2019 on our human calendar that this moment in time, whatever you call time in this moment in the universe, we will never get the moment that I just spent saying that back. And that's what I spent my time doing. And I never get that back.
It's true.
It's
because you chose to do it.
It's fading away right now.
Yeah.
And I'm continuously, it fucks me up. If you think
but
about
it's
it
true though,
online.
because some people are so focused on certain things that they forget that is exactly what's happening. Like, why are you spending more of your time
being upset,
focusing on other people or negative things or like, that's one thing that I hate that I do is that I'm always, one of the things that I've always tried to think is that I hate going to work. I hate like working overnights. I hate that type of a thing. But then I'm like, I'm thankful to have a job. My mindset should be, I'm lucky to get to go to work. I'm lucky that I have a good job and I'm lucky that I do like my job, even though I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who really wants to go to work?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's an opportunity and we're choosing to do it to better our lives, to have better experiences.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
True that, homie. Mic drop.
Let's just try one more just for shits and giggles. Something really easy.
That bottom one is short. Second from the bottom.
This?
Unless it sucks. No. Looks like it sucks.
Well, It says think universally, act selfishly.
Selfish or selfless?
Selfish. Think universally, act selfishly. So it's like
Unknown.
Think with a that says unknown. Oh, the last one was by Peter Russell, by the way. This one is unknown. So the fucking person who made this website could have done it. I hate that so much because like where the hell did they get that?
Don't give him credit. Move
No.
on.
What do you mean unknown? Who? Whatever. Okay, then nothing recedes like success.
Recedes like your hairline goes away.
I guess nothing
that what we're
recedes
thinking?
like success.
Okay, Google recedes. That is what that means, right? Just to make sure we're not going to sound like idiots. Like nothing fades faster than success.
Recede, go or move back or further away from a previous position.
Yes. That is so true, though, in some aspects.
Success doesn't last forever.
No.
Nothing can be successful
and if
forever.
you like focus on that one successful thing in your life all the time, you're never going to feel like you can do better than that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because nothing, I mean, other than
think universally.
Oh, you want to go back to the other one?
Go start over.
Think universally. What do you mean start over? This is the shortest fucking phrase we've had so far. Think universally, act selfishly. So for me, it's think about everything. Think about how...
Those are two different quotes. I got confused.
Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, nothing recedes like success. Success doesn't last forever. Let's end it on this fucking quote and we'll call it dead. Think universally, act selfishly. So I think it's like you got to think on a broad scale and then act for yourself. You got to put everything on, you got to think about everything and put everything out there and know what's going on and be conscious about what's going on. But when you act on your own behalf. You don't like...
I'm indifferent.
So when you... I guess I don't know. So when you know that... when you... Fuck off. When you know that you are... in a certain situation, like I have the job that I have and I love the job that I have and where I'm at is like somewhere I'd like to be. And then I realize also I'm thinking universally, like some people are homeless. Well, I need to act on my situation and just take advantage of it all the time because I don't want to be like that. I need to think like everybody else in that I am lucky to be in this position and I need to think about how like I could be somebody on the side of the street.
Then how do you act selfishly in that sense?
I'm acting selfishly by like the other example I was going to say is that I can go out and buy a fucking steak right now and other people can't even fucking eat dirt and that's really fucked up to say. But to like better myself, I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just trying to break it down.
In the order of it, isn't it different though? Wouldn't it be like think about everybody but do what's best for you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like,
okay.
Yeah, so what? People are starving on the earth. I'm gonna go fucking eat a steak.
Well, now you just sound like an asshole.
This is not my quote. I'm just saying.
Unknown, you're an asshole.
You break it down. I don't know what else.
I agree. I was just curious as to what you were thinking. Because the way you said it, you said it backwards. You said it as think about everybody being homeless. And
then act like on my scenario and be like, yes, I'm privileged in my scenario where I went to school. I got fucking a job. Yeah. I'm going to continue on to do that because I know of the hardships that might exist if I didn't. But let's just erase a whiteboard. What would you say that means? Think universally and act selfishly. Like totally take away, just get rid of anything that I just said.
Well, I think universally would be like, now my brain is farting. I know.
You were laughing at me.
I had it and now I can't come up with it. I don't know.
You sure?
pressure. The pressure is on.
What do you mean pressure? There's no
I don't
pressure. Literally 18 people are listening. It's not a fucking 10,000 person crowd here.
Well, shit, I quit.
You're talking at
I
my
quit.
family reunion's fire right now.
I wish it was August.
Too bad we gotta wait for that next year.
No, I think it's, just like I said, be conscious of everyone and everything and, do what's best for you.
Yeah.
In the sense of, I don't know, like you could do something for somebody else, but you could do something for you instead because it would benefit you and could hurt the other person. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I get it. It's just.
No, I totally got you. It's just weird.
We're all selfish and we all act selfishly because we all come to a choice where it's like, do I do this and I can benefit some? Like that's staying late at work. I think about all of my coworkers all the time. And then someone comes up and is like, hey, do you want to work a double? And I'm like, I'm thinking about my coworkers.
Yeah.
It would be really nice if I stayed.
Right. It'd make it easier.
I'm tired
for 'em.
as shit. I'm not going to stay. So I'm going to act selfishly and go home.
Yeah.
And
so
then
you're
that hurts
thinking
them.
Universally.
And I'm thinking about them,
You're
but
like,
I'm like, it's going to hurt them for me to not stay.
Right.
But then I'm going to act selfishly anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good example.
Yeah.
That was probably the best example.
But I suck at acting selfishly because I always stay. I should be more selfish. But I like the money. If I wasn't getting money, maybe I'd be more selfish.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think we pretty much
Nailed it.
the 4-word fucking
Nailed it.
Oh,
Score.
that was hopefully not too loud.
Sorry, guys.
For a good transition, as you could probably see, I'm squirming on my chair.
My butt hurts.
My sciatica is just burning. Is that what
These kitchen chairs are not meant to be sat on.
So a perfect segue.
And our neighbors think we're on drugs.
Yep.
Like summoning our pumpkin demons. If you're watching the video.
If not, subscribe to Sun Chips. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to go check it out and watch it again. It's an hour and a half, so please listen to every word again. No, just kidding. At least go on and listen to it for 30 seconds so I can get that view. Otherwise, if you're listening,
It's too late.
That's great. If
They're
you're
all
listening
gone.
on the podcast or you're listening on the video, Apple Music, I think. I don't know. There's a list. There's what it is. There is.
Check me on Pandora, bitches.
No, not Pandora. Don't say that. Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. All right. We will see you hopefully again. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot to fucking put at the beginning of the video. I'm so sorry I fucking missed last week. This is supposed to be a weekly podcast and I was sick last week and I fucking just put it off and I never got one out. So maybe
So depressed because I was gone.
yeah, that too.
He couldn't get out of bed.
I just needed to like a week of refresher, I guess. I don't know. But we will maybe see you again next week before Halloween. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe we could do a Halloween podcast. That'd be cool. Have the
One
kids
more?
over.
The kids? Well, kids.
No, not kids. Like have Jessica or
You are
Rich
that
over or
old, you just
something.
referred to your younger siblings as the kids over.
Go fuck yourself. It was just a funny phrase. I'm not that old.
Hey, Jessica, Matt, you guys want to come over and hang out?
You're the kids. You. No, definitely, hopefully squeeze another podcast in before the end of the month. Anyway, let's just wrap it up. It's almost an hour and a half. Thank you for joining. Megan just waved at the camera.
I did.
Anything you
I
want to
don't
say?
know what else to do in front of a camera.
Perfect. All right. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. And I just want to say one more time that if you're listening right now, I think that you're just a great human being overall. What you've been up to lately has just been awesome. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pulling strides. Keep being successful. I'm very much proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished. And I just think you should just keep going because there's nothing better than being the awesome human being that you are. And now the dog is on camera. Thanks again for listening. I hope you guys have a good one. Until next time, peace.